لا تنسوا الإعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة.
Romania is a little bit off the beaten path. While the country is known for Dracula, also free walking tours where you can check out the numerous historical sites, and hostels run about $10 to $15 per night. The food is also hearty and delicious, and here's a money-saving tip. Public transportation is also affordable and easy to use in most of the big cities. Now, the Ukraine can be a challenging country to travel in because there is a language barrier and sometimes a lack of reliable transportation. But if you're looking for a seriously interesting European adventure on a budget, the Ukraine is perfect. So a dorm room can cost as cheap as $6 to $10 per night. Meals can run about $6 to $8 per day, and transportation is only about $1 to $3 for train rides or $6 to $15 for an inner-city train ride. South America and visit Bolivia. Bolivia is also next level beautiful. You've got the Salar de Uyuni, which are the famous salt flats, sort of live like the locals do. You can spend very little on food, so look for the Menu del Dia, where you can get a 3-course meal for just a few dollars. Plus, accommodation is really cheap as well in hostels, running about $10 per day. South Africa. They also have a devalued currency at this moment. You can self-drive in Kruger National Park, which makes it a lot cheaper than your typical African safari. And the hostels that are referred to as backpackers are truly amazing. You've got people who are from all budget ranges, you've got locals, you've got people of all. Laos is a landlocked country, but it is not without its aquatic adventures. You have amazing rivers that you can tube down there. You have incredible waterfalls. I mean, truly stunning. Now, I will say accommodation in Laos set me back a little bit farther than it did in Vietnam, Cambodia, and other surrounding countries. But overall, you can still get by on about $30 US per day, especially if you're staying in dorms there. Vietnam is one of my favorite countries in Southeast Asia because it is just so diverse in terms of the landscape and very beautiful. And so you can start in the south, which I think is just a foodie's paradise, or let's be honest, the whole country is a foodie's paradise. And one of the best things about Vietnam is that you can eat there for $1 or $2 per meal. It's also really cheap to stay in the hostels, so just a few dollars, maybe up 5 to 10 per day. Cambodia. This is one of my favorite countries in the world. Cambodia is that I could find dorm rooms that were only $2 per night. Food there is pretty cheap at just $3 to $5 per meal. And with all of these places, keep in mind that if you're willing to eat the local food, food is also a really good option for saving money. Sri Lanka is right next to India, but it's got a culture and landscape all its own. There are so many interesting historical sites that you can visit, and they can be kind of expensive, like $40 to $50 for a foreigner to visit, but they are worth seeing and truly beautiful. The other nice thing about Sri Lanka is that the food is super affordable, and so are most of the activities. So if you want to learn to surf, or if you want to go hiking on Adams Peak, or if you just want to chill on the beach, all of these things are super affordable, like under $10 to $20 per day. Buses across the country, but honestly, take the train. It is an experience in and of itself. India is a country of extremes. You can spend tons of money in India if you want to. So you can travel India if you're on a super budget for as little as $15 per day, but if you want to spend a little more, you can have an even easier experience. But accommodation can be super cheap. Food is delicious and very cheap. Accommodation-wise, you can only spend $4 to $8 per night in a local guest house. Nepal is a place where I only spent about $15 per day when I was backpacking through for a full month back in 2014. Part of that is because I spent half of that time trekking the Annapurna circuit, which can be extremely cheap, especially at the lower elevations. The transportation is easy to book, and you can get across the country for just a few dollars as well. Similar to India, the best deal that you can get for accommodation is to go in person and see what the rooms cost. And kind of like India, almost everything in Nepal is negotiable in terms of price.